Alrighty, welcome back to the GameTime Gazette. It is your host, Isaiah Aneni, and I am very glad to join you guys back on another beautiful week. It was a beautiful sports weekend. I mean, we got March Madness that started up on Thursday. Hot! Underdog winning. We got Yale winning. We got the Canes winning. We got all types of teams winning. JMU, GCU. We got some great teams. Underdog first 2 days were really feasting. The underdogs were eating, but the books were getting beat. Public was living life. Public was getting money, and then Saturday and Sunday arrived, where the favorites, they roared back. They really did. Round of 32, and to advance to the round of 16 happened Saturday and Sunday. And we seen the favorites roar back. They went 15-1, with the one loss being Baylor against Clemson. Clemson not really an underdog, or not really that's not really too much of a disparity between both of the teams. I mean, you got a 3 and a 6 seed. Clemson a pretty good team as well. They showed it by beating Baylor, but nonetheless, it was a great March Madness week. And then we move on to racing F1. We finally, prayers have been answered. Finally have a race, a competitive one, that not one guy is winning by 30 seconds in the first 10 laps. That guy actually got DNF'd. He did not finish the race. And there's this meme that's like, there's this girl that comes, what is there any sound better than this? And she's shaking the iced coffee, and then it's Max Verstappen is out of the race. There was no better sound than that, honestly, with whatever happened in this sports, with March Madness, with basketball and soccer, anything going on around the world. I don't think I got any better sound bite than Max Verstappen is out of the race. Engine failure. I got smoke coming out of the side of the car. That's what Max said, and it was glorious to see. I loved it. Carlos Sainz becoming not first, because he already did it. So still continuing his reign as the only other non-Red Bull driver to win a race in the last 500 days. I mean, you know what? We'll start with F1. I mean, I already prepped it up here. Let's get to the Australian GP. I really do want to get back into a bag. I want to go through it all. So we're going to go through the highlights. Australia GP. Let me just search it up here. I know you guys are like, why is this guy not have it loaded up, man? I like being authentic, and I like loading it up while you guys are loading it up at the same time. Also, anybody has time for that? I'm coming from class, man. So, really just diving right in. The thing I take the longest on is really getting the angle right. I'm rambling here, but I just needed to stall to get this to load on my laptop or my Mac. It's not mine, but yeah. Okay, so we got the race highlights loaded up. Let's get booted up. Lights out, and away we go. Pretty slow start there from Max, already on the heels. Yeah, Carlos Sainz had a really amazing drive on Sunday in Melbourne, Saturday night here in North America, here in Canada, specifically where I watched it. Into that first corner there, Carlos Sainz already applying pressure to Max, seeing right behind him Lando Norris, the first driver. Broke a record this weekend. I don't think it's a record that Lando would want to have, even though it's not a bad record. But 16 or 14 podiums without a win. First driver to ever do that. I'm still waiting on that first win. It's coming anytime now. Look at that overtake there. Yeah, Sainz. Yeah, it looked really early on. It looked because it's happened in the second lap, and early on it really did look like the Red Bull just could not be as dominant here. Obviously, the tire degradation and all of that, putting the Red Bull pretty much with an even field. And the Ferrari, seeing the smoke coming out of that Verstappen Red Bull. This is the beginning of the end for him, right? Because, the car we talked about it here. We talked about it here on Friday when we were talking about Alex Albon's issues, right? Or not issues, when he crashed into the wall, and Williams, they want a point. They need a point. So we got to get Alex Albon into Logan Sargent's car. And it's because they fancied the Williams in this, and Maxi just kept dropping back. They didn't show the radio conversation, but he was saying, I got smoke on the side of my car, engine failure. And, there it is. There's the radio conversation. I have smoke, fire, brake, my brake. And, that was just it for Max. He ended up retiring the car. I guess, 3, 4, 5 laps in, but he was already in the pits, and we already seen him get smoke lap 3, right? So but it's one of them things, right, where it's like we talked about it here on the GameTime Gazette. Not every single track is meant for the car is made for every single track, right? There's going to be some tracks that your car is just better in. There's going to be some tracks your car is just not better in, right? And for the Red Bull, got Hamilton. He DNF'd as well. Engine failure for Hamilton. Unfortunate to see. He's not been having a great season at all. Only 8 points in the driver standings. But it's one of those things, right, where even last season, Red Bull had did not do very well in Melbourne. This was another race that Max Verstappen didn't finish in last year, right? So it was great to see. Obviously, it doesn't mean the Red Bull is shite, or we got other cars that are getting closer. You hope that Ferrari is getting closer, because it was a great weekend for them with the Ferrari 1-2, had Sainz 1 and Leclerc 2. So it was a great weekend for them. It's a great encouragement for the rest of the pack. The Mercedes is very underwhelming. I mean, you see it. George Russell had a few moments of brilliance there. Really did all he could to do his best with the car, but ultimately, I don't know why I talk in this British accent when I'm talking F1. I just noticed that, but ultimately, like you see in it here, Perez, Russell just didn't have any chance, especially when it got to the straight lines. It's just that Mercedes is slow. It's slow. It's a slow car. For next year, who is it? We got a lot of rumors in the F1, but for next year, Alonso, is it Albon? I think it was Albon. Alonso, Albon. Now Ricardo for that Red Bull seat, but we got a lot of for whoever who picks up that seat. Mercedes got to improve it, man. They got to improve it. Obviously, they started a little bit more this year, but I feel like they're a year behind because they got so stuck in their ways, and Toto obviously believing that it would work, and it didn't. The no side pods, all of that, when they had that period of time, that phase, and it really put them behind, especially in this generation, in this regulation generation, right? So regulation period. So but it was nonetheless a fun race to watch because Max Verstappen wasn't winning and Max Verstappen was out the race. So it was one that you're engaged on, even though race finished at like 1:32 a.m. here ish in Canada. So it was a fun race to watch. I didn't watch to the end because I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I was tired, and what do you want me to say? I was tired. I fell asleep, but it was a fun race to watch. Alexander Albon, as we're watching on the screen right now, he unfortunately did not get a point, despite him getting into Logan Sargent's car, despite him doing all that he could. Was not able to get a point, and the whole F1 world, the whole sports world, really, when they heard the news, really felt for Logan Sargent. I mean, at the end of the day, Alex Albon didn't even get a point, even though did his best, all of that. Just was unfortunately not able to. I mean, the Haas was really moving there. Nico Hulkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. Yeah, the Haas is much better car this year. It's not just the tractor in the back of the grid. It's more competitive and really showed its strengths here as we're watching. Yeah, just Hulkenberg really just trying to get through the field. No, that was Magnussen. Sorry, yeah, passing that Williams. And at the end of the race. George Russell losing control of his car. Luckily, the tires were able to stay under the car and just tip the car over. No injury, nothing. But look at this replay here. Just lost control of the car. And you know why he lost control of the car as well? Alonso brake checked him. Very, very, look at that. Alonso was slowing down there into the corner. Hard to see. Kind of, you got to slow it down a little bit more of when that turn is happening. But basically, Russell Alonso fighting on that last corner. And, Alonso brake checked George Russell, unfortunately, and got a grid penalty, got 3 driver's points. He got three deductions from his points as well. Which is fair. I mean, you go back at it and you look at it. He was brake checking them in a high speed corner as well, like the highest speed corner of the whole track, right? So, unfortunately, George Russell wasn't even able to finish his race. He was in the points. He was even able to finish the race. It was the last lap on the race. Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris, whenever they're on the podium, it's weird. But George Russell has never finished the race. Whenever Carlos Sainz specifically has won as well, George Russell DNF either on the first lap or the last lap. It's crazy. But that was the Australian Grand Prix. Hoping for a lot more races this year where they're more entertaining just as that. Hopefully the pack is catching up to Red Bull. To just talk a little bit more F1 news, Adrian Newey in talks or rumored to be sought out after by Ferrari. That's just interesting, and a few more of their mechanical department is like eyed by Ferrari. Just interesting because Ferrari's trying to build, the Mecca again, the dynasty again that Ferrari is meant to be. This dynasty, when we think about a Mercedes and Red Bull, when you ask somebody outside, who do you think is the most dominant F1 team in F1, you would think Ferrari. And that's what they're trying to become again, right? They're trying to become the juggernauts, trying to get all the smartest brains in the sport, getting the best drivers. Got Leclerc, got Hamilton set up for next year. So it's going to be interesting to see. Also, some more rumor talks. Very interesting quote coming out of the Red Bull garage. Just seeing Christian Horner saying, the guy that won the guy that won the race talking about Carlos Sainz doesn't have a home for next year. So it's going to be interesting to see, because it does really seem as if Max Verstappen is searching his options and he might very, very, very seriously be considering leaving Red Bull to a Mercedes. Mercedes really just seems like the one viable option at the moment right now. I know Porsche has been thrown out there, but they're a year or two away. They're 2 years away, sorry. And I know Aston Martin has been thrown out there as well, because Aston Martin, they're going to do what I believe it's a rebrand, and even Aston Martin trying to get Adrian Newey, all of this, all of that, and be able to get a Max Verstappen, give him a car, and make Aston Martin into that. We know them as a luxury brand, this and that, but make him into what Aston Martin is meant to be in F1. It's interesting. It's so interesting when you think about just the sport behind the scenes and the drama that goes on behind the scenes being a lot more, obviously everything, and drama's always juicy, but obviously in a season where one driver, last few seasons, one driver, one team has been winning it all, you like to see all these news, and you like to see all these speculations for, new teams, new drivers, new challenges, and new beginnings for us fans to enjoy this sport called F1 a lot better and a lot more. So to recap, the Australian GP happened. Carlos Sainz won, Charles Leclerc was second, and Lando Norris came in third. George Russell got brake checked by Fernando Alonso at the end of the race, which is weird. He got rightfully punished. Fernando Alonso did, rightfully punished. All the news going on in the paddock and about the driver moves and all of that. I'll keep you guys updated right here on GameTime Gazette as we get more information, but I gave as much as I know of right now. It's a fun weekend. It's been an okay season. That was the funnest race. So hoping for more races like that as the season goes on. Today, just on quick news, today Shohei Ohtani is meant to do a press conference about the whole, answer some questions about the whole gambling situation with his translator, Ipe. I don't know his last name, Ipe. I just remember Ipe because I seen Ipe everywhere. Ipe did this, Ipe did that, Ipe did this, Ipe did that, Ipe did. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it was a lot. It was a lot because it was the speculation with Ohtani to keep all you that are on Twitter, Instagram, and saving yourselves, doing the right thing for your mental health because it's all toxic. But I'm not on it. It's okay. GameTime Gazette is me. I'm here to keep you guys updated. Basically, the Twitter speculation, the social media speculation, the fan speculation right now is that Shohei Ohtani was very much involved. That Ipe is the fall guy. This translator is the fall guy, and even if he isn't, Shohei Ohtani was very much aware of what was going on. We got the one that seems like the most mundane. And not theory, but it's come out to be true. I believe that, theory at this moment. I'm not gonna say anything is true or not true until we hear and see definitive evidence. But it's that Ipe came to his close friend Shohei Ohtani, who he's known for forever. I mean, Shohei's bringing this guy from Japan, so to be a translator could have been anyone, could have been someone that Dodgers hired, anything, but he brought his personal friend, close friend, right? So Ipe goes to his close friend that just made 700 mil, and Ipe tells his close friend what's going on, this and that, and he needs a little bit of help. He'll pay him back, all of that. That's the story that's out there right now, that Ipe just needed some money from a friend. Shohei Ohtani wasn't involved more than that. More than just paying a debt for a friend. Second theory is that Ipe was using his name and with this illegal bookmaker. What was I going to say? Illegal boogeyman? Illegal bookmaker. And while he was using his name, to just hide that, it's not Ohtani, obviously, blah, 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 because that would bring a lot more eyes onto it and a lot more eyes onto the fact, to be able to bet. And him and Ohtani was using Ipe as a kind of shield, mirror, whatever, to hide behind and bet through Ipe. He has the money, obviously, he could do that. Also, people were just saying he was straight up betting through this illegal bookmaker, and Ipe just took the fall for him. Ipe didn't know about any of this, but we're getting a lot more information now that Ipe didn't. He lied about going to UC Riverside for college. He lied about, or not lied, he attended a gambling school, something like that, like to help gamblers that are addicted. And he didn't finish the program. He didn't finish that. Learning a lot about just Ipe's background and life. I mean, guys got into it. Like you see guys on the social media, obviously in the media, really want to know what's going on. They got into it. They dug deep, and it does seem like Ipe was a gambler or is a gambler in his own right. It's just interesting to see how Shohei is involved in all of this. Obviously, with speculation and everything, obviously, everyone always wants to think the wildest things. But, in my humble opinion, I do think that Shohei, with reading everything, even though, I was on here speculating with Nye Simmons here just the other day, it's just like, with reading everything and with reading, just Ipe's background and everything and all of that, and just knowing like it's I believe that the extent that it could have gone to is Shohei paying off a debt for a friend. But the whole thing that he was betting, I mean, he would have been a little smarter. The way it went, the way this whole thing has gone down, even though, yeah, that's something that you could say this and that, I think he would have been a little smarter. I'd be very surprised if he was betting as well, because obviously already covering his tracks with, like, if he is betting, covering his tracks with Ipe, using it, the translator's name, this and that, using a legal bookmaker, all of that. So he's already covering his tracks. But I that's the thing, though, when you think about it that way, because he's, not using FanDuel. I mean, Ipe could use FanDuel. Like, you think about it, but he can't face a $400,000 better. I mean, he can. In theory, he can. He most definitely can, customer service, FanDuel. I want to place this and this. I'm Ipe Otani's best friend. I got the money. I work for the Dodgers. I get paid $300K a year. I got the money. He could have definitely done that, but he's in a $4.5 million debt, so that's obviously a lot of betting. I'd be surprised if it was just one. So just really don't know. That thing as well, that bookmakers do that IOU thing where you don't have to pay them right on the spot. You could pay them. I don't even know how bookmakers work. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because how do you owe somebody $4.5 million? Like, how do you continue betting? Like, does FanDuel have that? Like, where you could just continue betting? Maybe I win and then I'll pay you guys off, take the profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Probably because, bookmaker knew he was good for it. And if he wasn't, Shohei was. That's probably why, because probably gave him a little tab, because, hey, you know where to get that money from. So I wanted to where are we gonna go next? So we talked F1. We spoke on what's going on. We went through the race weekend. Was a nice race. We watched it together here as well. I wanted to. Oh yeah, let's talk some NBA. Haven't talked NBA in days. Ah man, let's talk some NBA basketball. I mean, we'll start with tracking Golden State's Warriors odds to make the playoffs. We'll start with that. All right, the Golden State Warriors have a 1 lead over the Rockets for the final spot in the Western Conference play-in tournament. So this is. It's getting tight in the West. The West is tight. I mean, you got the top 8 teams with 41 wins and less than 30 losses. The top 8 teams are head and shoulders above 500. That's crazy, bro. That is wild. Man. That is wild. Okay, so Houston. Obviously, we've seen they lost 1 game in March. So shout out H-Town. I don't like none of y'all, but shout out H-Town. They've been playing. They've been balling. Oh my gosh. I just remembered what I was going to talk about today, man. I was going to talk about, the funniest thing that has popped up in my feed in the last week. Joe Ispias and the Brooklyn Nets declined an offer from the Houston Rockets. Let me get the offer details. It was, oh my god. Nets declined green deal. Let me see this. Oh, that was the funniest thing I've seen. And it's because they did it with Dorian Finney-Smith for 3 first-round picks. It was wild. But the Nets reportedly, it came out because this is all a rumor. End of the day, it's all a rumor. Don't know if it's true or not. But this past trade deadline, the Nets reportedly declined massive offers for Mikal Bridges. One was of a 5 first-rounders for Mikal. And then that one you could be a little bit skeptical on it because it's definitely not okay. 5 unprotected first rounders. Probably not. Definitely probably 2 or 3 unprotected and then 1 swap and then 1 protected. So they're not all the same value for sure. But on January 31st, Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype reported that the Houston Rockets discussed sending most of the first-round picks acquired in 2021 James Harden Brooklyn Net trade back to the Brooklyn Nets for Bridges. So if we get an exact number, let's see. This isn't the right one. But it was basically for Jalen Green. I don't want to speculate because I really know that it's smarter than it okay, right here. Yeah, okay, so the Rockets tried to trade. It's crazy. The Rockets tried to, I don't know what's crazier. If the Rockets, it was crazier that the Rockets tried trading Jalen Green and multiple first picks, multiple first picks from Mikal Bridges, or that the Nets declined the offer. And I understand Jalen Green wasn't playing that well this year. I understand. I've been on the GameTime Gazette. I've said it as well. But are you going to tell me that a guy drafted just 3 years ago at number 2 with multiple first round picks? I just don't understand the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know because this could have been a better direction for them to go at because Jalen Green did start the year pretty sucky. Not pretty sucky, but could have been better. Could have definitely been better. And this last month it's been better. After he got that kid with Drea Michelle, after he got that, he got that MILF pregnant. He's been better. He's played the best basketball of his NBA career over these past few weeks. The Rockets are on a current 8-game win streak, and Green is averaging 29, 6, and 3 while shooting 52% from the field, 45% from 3. He's playing how he was supposed to all year. It's been 8 games. It's been 8 games for sure. But, he's turning up at the right time. Bro, if you gave him his own team in Brooklyn, you fill him around with a few young stars that they got there, you're only trading Mikal Bridges. You're only trading Mikal. You trade Mikal, fill him around with... Oh, man, they could have been much better. Could have been much better because Mikal is not doing great this year, bro. Mikal has not been doing great this year. Even though he's averaging 24 and 3, Green's averaging close to those numbers. Obviously averaging better numbers in these past 8 games. And you could have gotten multiple first round picks. I don't understand the thought process behind what the Nets are going on. The Nets are the one team, I feel like it's the first team that the GameTime Gazette has ever criticized. Still, that's the first team I ever criticized. The first time I made an episode, they fired Jacques Vaughn, and it was their 8th coach in the last 11 years. A bonkers number, a number that it just doesn't. It's not supposed to be like that. And then You got the report, just before the trade deadline. You got the report about the Dorian Finney-Smith trade. Who do they think this guy is? And now you get this. And the Nets are in 11th place with a record of 26 and 45? You're not trading for a number 2 overall pick of Jalen Green? All due respect to Mikal Bridges, but he is not a number 1 guy. Jalen Green has way more potential than being a number 1 guy than Mikal Bridges does. Jalen Green's younger. Even though Mikal Bridges plays every game, okay, cool, but he is not a number 1 guy. He won't be for the Nets. You're forcing him into that. And what are you getting? 26 and 45 this year? What kind of decision making is going up there in Brooklyn? I mean, what's going on? You get multiple. I'm not even thinking about just Jalen Green for Mikal Bridges, because that's not even it. I'm thinking about the future. The Nets have none. They have nothing set up. Let's look at the Brooklyn Nets first round picks for this. Like, what are we talking about? Picks next 5 years. Like, what are we talking about? Let's look at their future draft picks. The Brooklyn Nets, they don't even have a pick this year, bro. They don't have a draft pick this year. They don't have a draft pick this year, man. What are we talking about, bro? Like, when they're 26 and 45. They're 26 and 45. They stink. They are multiple games under 500. They're not average. They're bad. They're below average. Your average is telling us that. They got one pick in the first round in 2025. They got no first round picks in 2026. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's all I'm gonna say with Brooklyn Nets though. You guys get your own. I mean, what are we even talking about here, bro? What are we even talking about? What future are you building for yourself, Brooklyn? Sean Marks? Kevin Ollie? Nah, Kevin Ollie just got hired. But Sean Marks, what are you doing? I'm not even a Brooklyn fan, but I'm asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Next, their first round pick next year is from the Phoenix Suns, man. What are we talking about, bro? Phoenix is just gonna get better next year. They're not gonna be even this year. Okay, they're 9th seed, but they're what? Let's see what. My gosh, Brooklyn, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, okay, Brooklyn, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, let's watch. Watch. I said it. The record about the record. What are we doing? The top 8 teams in the West have a record of top 8 teams in the West, all of them, down to number 8, has not lost 30 games yet. And they've all won 40 plus. At least 43. Down to the 8th seed. Man, what are we doing, Brooklyn? What are we doing? What are we doing? The Phoenix Suns are 42 and 29. What are we doing, Brooklyn? It's a 20th pick. They do that again next year. Maybe they even get a little better. It's the 24th, 25th pick. Brooklyn, what are we doing? You guys stink this year. You don't even have your own draft pick. You're a little bit better than the Raptors, who are projected to get the 6th pick in the draft. What are you doing? Sean Marks, really, he needs to be on the hot seat. He needs to be on the hot seat. There's no way. You ruin a team with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and then you get all these assets that you're supposed to flip. Bro, Mikal Bridges isn't a number 1 guy, man. Be serious. I love Mikal, but Mikal's not bringing you to a championship. What are we talking about, bro? Just because he plays every game? You ruin that team. And then you get an opportunity to redeem yourself. Get at least 6 first-round picks and a young player that was drafted number 2. The Houston Rockets were about to fuck up. And you did it, and the Nets fucked up even worse. I don't know. That's where I'm going to leave it at. If you got to this part of the video, in this part of the podcast, make sure to leave a review, leave a like, leave a comment. I always want to hear what you guys are saying. Let me know what you guys think about this Brooklyn Nets situation. You know, it's just like, I forgot everything else I was going to talk about today because What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? I'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be talking some basketball, recapping all the games that are going on today. Got no college basketball, but we got NBA going on today. So I'll be recapping all the games. Got some more news coming on tomorrow. Everything that was missed from this conversation will be recapped again here on this tomorrow when we pick it up on the GameTime Gazette. All the new things as well. Got some good convos in it for you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, I'll let you guys head on with your day. Let me know what you think about today's episode. With that, it's been your host, Isaiah Aneni. Peace. Oh, Jesus loves you. Don't ever forget that. Just wanted to, gotta keep saying it. You're hearing me this today. It's Mental Health Monday as well. So Jesus loves you. Make sure to take some out today and pray. Some time out today and pray. Thank God for giving you. It's a blessing to be alive. Remember that. Always don't forget. Peace.